Meanwhile, the Blue Jays also played Thursday, defeating MAC opponent Parkway. The Jays entered this evening's contest 17-1 and second in the MAC. Their lone loss, a 2-point loss on the road at Marion Local. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. With former head coach Paul Sadler, I'm Todd Utrup. Paul, the Big Green entered tonight's game ranked number 1 in the state in Division 4. The Jays are ranked just below them at number 4. The rankings make for an intense game, right?
Well, it's going to be an intense game irregardless of the rankings. This is a backyard rivalry. And since they moved this game to a Saturday night about 6-7 years ago, this game has really turned into an event, and you can tell by the packed house we have here tonight.
And as I mentioned a moment ago, Ottoville beat Clyda 2 nights ago on this very same floor for their league championship. Clyda entered that game ranked number 2 in the state. Is there any chance that Ottoville could have an emotional letdown in tonight's game?
Well, there's always a chance, but I was talking with Coach Dave Clayman of Ottoville earlier, and he kind of really compared this stretch of these 2 games to what it would be like in the district tournament. You're playing the number 2 team in the state on Thursday, you're playing the number 4 team in the state on Saturday. You know, in a couple of weeks, if you lose those games, you're done. But at least for right now, you get a chance to see how good you really are.
And the Jays enter the game at 17-1. With the tournament looming, how big of a game is this for the Blue Jays?
Well, it's a measuring stick game. You know, at this point, you know, you still have a chance for the league title with some help next week. This tournament seedings are already out. Basically, you get a chance to play against the best team in the state. And either one of these teams is the best team in the state, potentially. You know, obviously St. John's with a 2-point loss in Marion Local. It just makes for a very interesting game. You know, unlike the tournament where if you lose, it's over. This time you get a chance, the sun still goes up in the morning, and you get a chance to regroup yourself and find out how good you really are.
Now let's look at the players to watch, presented by Amy Holgrave Photography. The Blue Jays are led by Zephyrin Bryan, and her counterpart for the Big Green is Abby Siefker.
Okay, we'll start first with talking with Zephyrin Bryan. Zephyrin is a 4-year letterman for the Blue Jays, a 6-foot senior guard who leads the team in points, rebounds, steals, assists, block shots, probably even sells popcorn at halftime if they'd let her. On the other end of the spectrum, Abby Siefker for Ottoville is a freshman who is averaging a double-double with 12 points a game and 11 rebounds, also leads the team in block shots as well. And she'll surprise you every once in a while. She even has a few made threes on the year.
You know, Abby Siefker may be their leading scorer, but the entire Big Green squad can play. All 5 of their starters have scored 15 points or more in a single game so far this year. Now let's take a look at our points in the paint, presented by Swick Construction.
Okay, the points in the paint here, starting with the Blue Jays. Talking with Coach Dan Grothaus earlier before, who I might accidentally call Beezy a few times. His first thing that he was concerned with is composure of the players. Playing in front of this packed house is perfect preparation for the tournament, and keeping your composure will be important. Role players stepping up, feel that obviously Brian is going to be really keyed on, you know, who's going to step up for the Blue Jays that, you know, might not be in the main scorer for them. Contest their shooters and as well as contain drives is important as well. For the Ottoville Big Green, Coach Clayman is worried about rebounding. The Blue Jays have some size with Lindsey Reindl, and Zephyrin Bryan obviously is big as well. Ottoville is also concerned with winning the free throw battle and getting to the line. And finally, the senior leaders, Chelsea Ditto and Samantha Modica, are providing a lot of leadership for the Big Green.
Well, we have an intense rivalry and a number 1 state ranking on the line. Should make for an exciting ball game, and we'll be back with the starting lineups and the tip-off after this break.
Our dad used to say, when you work hard for something, protect it.
That's why he got Nationwide Insurance more than 30 years ago.
We're still with them today because no matter what changes in our lives, whether it's starting a business or building a house,
Having kids or buying a car.
with an on-your-side review from Nationwide Insurance, we get the coverage we need at the right price for us.
The Fort Jennings Telephone Company has provided quality telephone service to Northwestern Ohio since 1908. We now offer many different services, including local and long-distance phone service, cable television, and high-speed internet. The Fort Jennings Telephone Company offers all of these services with the convenience of one monthly bill. Contact us at 419-286-2181 or visit us online at www.fjtelephone.com. At the Fort Jennings State Bank, we strive for excellence in serving our communities. With 24/7 ATM service, online banking, and 5 convenient locations, the Fort Jennings State Bank works hard to be your bank of choice. As an independent community bank, we have served our Putnam County community since 1918. With a full line of loan options, the Fort Jennings State Bank truly is the bank of choice.
Welcome back to Ottoville High School and Heckman Gymnasium for tonight's debut broadcast on Game Face Ohio. Here are tonight's starting lineups presented by the Fort Jennings State Bank.
Okay, starting for the Blue Jays at guard, number 12, Becca Sane. Number 14, Christina Dessenberg. Number 22, Zephyrin Bryan. Number 23, Lindsay Reindl. And 34, April Grodhaus. For the Big Green, number 15, Carrie Beining. Number 20, Chelsea Ditto. Number 24, Samantha Modica. Number 33, Tasha Kaufman. And 43, Abby Siefker.
The public address announcer is finishing up the announcements. I don't know about you, Paul, but I'm getting pretty pumped up. This is surely to be an exciting game here with a lot on the line as far as pride and the rivalry and everything else here between these two schools.
Well, sometimes the term tournament atmosphere is overused, but this is truly a tournament atmosphere. A packed house on a Saturday night against two of the best teams in the state. I'm excited. The girls are excited. Let's get going.
And we also have two longtime coaches as well, which you know both personally, I believe.
Yes.
You coached with, or I'm sorry, you taught with Coach Clayman over at Van Wert High School, is that correct?
Yep, I've been lucky enough. I coached with Coach Clayman when I was over at Van Wert, and obviously being an alumni here from Delphos St. John's, I've been able to work with Coach Grodhaus in the past too. So both longtime coaches. Coach Grodhaus, I believe his first year was 1990 at St. John's, and Coach Clayman's been coaching for 19 years as well. Both have taken teams to the state tournament. A lot of tradition here for both teams, and again, this is just an exciting atmosphere.
And here we go with the tip. Ottoville in the home white. Jays obviously in the traveling blues. And the tip goes to the Jays.
And Ottoville matched up in a man-to-man.
Jays looking to get it inside there for a moment.
Well, trying to get the ball to Reindl.
And they do. Lindsay up with the basket, so the Jays get the first score of the evening.
And if Lindsay Reindl is scoring for the Jays, that is a great sign for them to get high-quality shots.
Big Green taking their time, trying to get a good shot. Taking inside, and there will be a foul called on, I believe, Christina Dessenberg.
Obviously, that's her first of the game.
And they'll call that a shooting foul, so Chelsea Ditto will go to the line, shooting 2. She drains the first one.
Chelsea, one of those senior starters that we talked about that providing tremendous leadership, hits the first one.
Second one, no good. Rebound down to Zephyrin Bryan.
And Zephyrin is the leading rebounder for the Jays. Good help defense there by the Big Green.
Bryan looking to do something with it.
It'll be an interesting matchup there with the Rindle and Siefker there in the middle. Both quality bigs playing and jostling for position.
Sane now will reset it up top. Gets it back over to Dessenberg.
Nice backdoor cut by Bryan.
And they'll call 3 seconds on that. The Big Green that time had their hands straight up in the air. Really was not much room for her to do anything with the ball.
No, she was in kind of tire straits right there. What you need to do there is just try to go up strong with it. Hopefully if it goes in, you might draw some contact.
Nice pass from Binding. Oh, good pass from Ditto. Bucket for Samantha Modica. 3-2 our score. The Big Green take their first lead of the ball game.
And Dessenberg lost sight of her girl cutting back door on that. She's got to make sure that she sees both the ball and her man.
So Binding providing the pressure on Sane out front as the Jays look to work it around a little bit.
Jays running a nice little motion offense, passing, cutting through, screening away. Tough entry pass there.
So Kaufman now will try to start something up top. She's getting a couple picks, but not able to make anything of it, so she'll get it back out to Siefker.
Not very good spacing by the Big Green. Everybody's on the left side of the floor.
Siefker with the move, and she is fouled by Lindsay Rindle, so she'll go to the line to shoot 2.
First foul for Lindsay. That is the second team foul for the Blue Jays. And probably as big as anything is both of those fouls have been shooting fouls to get easy points for the Big Green.
If they can convert, and obviously Siefker there misses that one. She'll get her second opportunity. Crowd so far, Paul, has kind of been mellow. They're making some noise, but I think they're all sitting there waiting to see what happens, see who makes that first move.
Yep,
who goes on that first run.
Yep, we actually had a substitution there. Number 10, Courtney Grodhouse into the ball game for the Jays. Diamond press here by the Big Green.
Good steal that time by Chelsea Ditto. A little bit of an errant pass, but she got lucky that time. And by she, I mean Tasha Kaufman.
It's a foul on Becca Sane. That is her third team foul on the Jays.
So Ditto now looks to get it into Siefker. Tough pass.
Oh, boy. Nice help defense there by Zephyrin Bryan. That's the case of Courtney Grodhouse trying to make a play to get the basketball. She could have just let that one go and maintain possession.
So Ditto inbounds it to Kaufman. Shot no good. Grodhouse with the ball now looking to get it out of trouble, and she's unable to do so. Pass out of bounds back to the Big Green. We have a substitution here for the Jays. Number 44, Tiffany Geisy coming into the game. April Grodhouse will take a seat.
Jays employing that man-to-man defense.
So Binding trying to call the play there. A little confusion as the Jays put some good defense and they're able to tie her up. So with the alternating possession, it will stay with the Big Green. We're at the 4:24 mark here, 4-2 in favor of Ottoville. Ditto will inbound the ball.
Get the ball inside to Siefker. Nice little jump hook, but not well defended by Reindl.
Jay's trying to do something with it. Good move that time, but not able to finish. Was Becca Sane. We'll have a foul on the rebound.
And if that's on Reindl, that's her second. And it is. So that could potentially be a tough loss with 2 fouls this early in the ball game for their starting center for the Jays.
So Lindsay Reindl will have a seat, and Shelby Reindl will take her place. As Binding brings the ball down the floor. Stiefker out front trying to set a pick, but nothing doing, so she'll take it over to Ditto, who carries the ball. So turnover back to the Jays.
Seen a lot of turnovers here by both teams. Don't know if that's just a case of nerves or just a little bit of pressure defense.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit of both. Jays trying to
Trap here by Ottoville.
Big Green trying to get a little too aggressive that time, and Ditto will be called with the foul.
And that's what is kind of referred to as a run and jump. When you bring the ball up court, a girl will leave her man and come and attack the ball to get a trap. And what you're trying to do is force some sort of turnover or a poor decision by the offense. Flare screen by the Jays.
Birdhouse all the way across.
Dangerous pass. Brian's got a, well, she did have a little bit of a mismatch in there. She had Kaufman matched up with her. Now the Big Green are back matched up.
Birdhouse looking to do something with it. So she'll take it to the lane. Nice pass. But good defense by Abby Siefker, so they'll get back out to Brian. Her shot's no good. All alone for the rebound is Binding.
We've got to get matched up. No one's guarding the ball.
Wide open shot that time for Lauren Kramer.
So Coach Grotehouse cannot be happy with the team not being matched up and allowing that wide open of a shot.
Jay's trying to get it in here on the inbounds, running out of time. They do get it in to Grotehouse. Trying to get it back to Brian, and she loses the handle. So the Big Green take over. 4-2 still our score here. Coming up on 2.5 left in the first quarter, and we have a steal by Becca Saint. She'll try to take it coast to coast. She lays it up and in.
Big steal right there by playing an aggressive passing lane.
And we had Lauren Cook that time trying to make something happen. Lost the handle, ended up with the double dribble. A couple more substitutions now for Ottoville. Still our score here. And here's the quick replay of that shot, the steal by Becca Sain as she brings it all the way down to the other end. Lays it up and in.
Here come the Jays going the other way.
And we
Shelby Reindl there with the layup, breaking the pressure that Ottoville was giving.
4-6 the score here. The Jays on top now. Kaufman with the ball.
Ottoville's with a nice aggressive take there. Ottoville's offering a ball screen at the top quite a bit, something the Jays have to adjust to.
Good pressure by Ottoville, causes the turnover. Tiffany Geisy loses the handle. And then there's a foul on Becca Sain trying to recover and get the ball back for the Jays.
If that is on Becca Sain, that is her second as well. So that's 2 starters for the Jays with 2 fouls already here with 1:49 left in the first quarter, excuse me.
Christina Dessenberg back in for the Jays. Carrie Binding gets the inbounds pass, quickly throws it back to Ditto.
Still very aggressive. The Jays making it tough to make the next pass. There's that ball screen up top again.
Kramer with the three, no good. Jays get the rebound.
Unforced turnover there.
So Ditto will inbounds the ball again for the Big Green. With the score tied 6-6. She gets it in to Lauren Cook all the way out top.
And I tell you what, you're seeing, these two teams know each other pretty well from scouting. They're not getting their initial options off these out-of-bounds plays.
Driving penetration, no good, and goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Big Green, so the Jays take over. Siefker coming back in for the Big Green here.
So here to see this man-to-man full court pressure. Zephyr Bryan taking it up.
They broke that fairly well. Now looking to do something with it. Nice pass down low, but we're going to have a foul.
The foul's on Samantha Modica. That's her first, second team foul there on the Big Green. Big Green switched that cross screen. Now they got a mismatch inside with Zephyr Bryan. Misses the little chippy.
And Binding will come down with the rebound with 40 seconds coming up here on the clock. We'll see if they'll hold for the
Got to get
shot.
matched up.
Nope, they'll take the three-point shot. No good that time by Kramer. Jays got the rebound, trying to get it out of there, but stepping on the end line is Roadhouse. So Big Green will maintain possession of the ball.
And that is the second time that Lauren Kramer has been unguarded at the three-point line, and she shoots 45% from three, so you've got to know where she's at.
Kramer with the ball now again. Now we're coming up on 20 seconds. Looks like they will hold for a shot here at the buzzer.
Want to get the ball inside to your leading scorer, Siefker. Nice backdoor cut.
And we're going to have a traveling called on Carrie Binding. So 6.7 left on the clock. Here's the nice entry pass that time on the backdoor cut.
Might get a 5-second call here.
We'll
Nope.
get back to live action here quickly. The inbounds pass deflected out of bounds by the Jays, so Big Green will keep it.
Ottoville's going to continue the pressure here.
Ryan with the ball. She'll try to take it down there, throws up a shot. She's fouled. Let's see if they'll call that a shooting foul.
Looks like they're going to call it on the floor. Or are they?
We're still waiting to see the call here, if they're calling it a shooting foul or on the floor. It looks like they're going to call it a shooting foul. Looks like the foul was
shots.
On Modica, so we're going to have two shots coming up here by Zephyr Bryan. No time on the clock here. Bryan will take two.
And that is the second foul on Modica. And obviously you never want to get a second foul in the first half as Bryan misses the first one. But really at the buzzer, in a situation like that, you never want to have a foul called in that.
Second shot is good, so 7-6 is our score here at the end of the first quarter. So with that first quarter in the books, we'll take a short break and be back with the second quarter. Welcome back to Heckman Gymnasium here at Ottoville High School. We just got the second quarter underway. The Jays had the ball on the alternating possession.
Pressure defense there by Ottoville causes a turnover.
Foul that time on the shot, so going to the line will be number 33, Tasha Kaufman. She'll be shooting 2.
Foul there is on 44, Tiffany Geisy of the Blue Jays.
So Kaufman now taking her first of 2 free throws. And that's no good. And while we have a moment, we'd like to take a brief moment here to thank a few of our sponsors for tonight's game. Amy Holgrave Photography, Elegant Home Supply Incorporated, and Premier Event Concepts. Kaufman now with her second shot, no good. Rebounded by Kramer. So she'll try to get it back up top for a reset. Big Green looking to get it to Siefker. She's up with a shot. She's fouled. That'll be 2 shots for Siefker. Foul, I believe, is on number 44, Tiffany Geisy.
And that is the 7th team foul for the Blue Jays. So the Big Green will be shooting the bonus here for the remainder of the half.
Siefker's shot is good, so we are now all squared up, 7-7.
And Siefker makes both. She's shooting 73% for the year going in.
More full court pressure by the Big Green. Zephyr and Bryan trying to bring it down. And they do break the press. Get it back to Bryan for the good, easy layup by Bryan.
And that's a great pass. That's the way you really want to break a press. You know, you want to get the ball up the sidelines quickly, but you always immediately want to look back into the middle because there's a soft spot there.
Big Green trying to answer. Ditto throws up the 3-point shot. It's no good and goes out of bounds untouched. So the Jays will take over.
It's a pretty quick 3 there for Ottoville. Again, this man-to-man pressure here. So you get the ball at the sideline, back into the middle. That's the way you want to break it. Nice pass by Bryan and good finish there by Becca Sane. She now has 4 points.
Jay's starting to go on a little run here, a little 4-0 run. Let's see if they keep that going or if Ottoville can start to answer. Ditto looking to do something with it. She gets the Siefker. She'll shoot, and she's going to be called for the offensive foul.
That's a tough call there. I thought she might have shuffled her feet and got the turnover that way. Not sure I saw the offensive foul there, but you got to honor what the referees say. That is the first foul on Siefker. Get up the sidelines, looking for the middle. That's not there this time. Now you can take it back and bring the ball up and run your offense. Jay's doing an excellent job adjusting to the pressure that Ottoville is giving.
We have a tie-up down there between Geisy and Kaufman, I believe. So the alternating possession will give it to the Big Green. With just under 6 minutes left to go here in this second quarter.
So right here, I really think that the Big Green should either continue to attack, continue with the free throw line that they have been, or try to get the ball to Siefker inside. Here, another turnover.
Sane trying to make the nice no-look pass, but good hustle there by the Big Green to get back and deflect it out of bounds.
And that's the second big steal that Sane has had.
So Zephyrin Bryan will inbound the ball for the Jays. She gets it into Sane.
Nessenberg thought about the three.
Now she looks for something to do with it, gets it back to Sane.
Yeah, not a lot of movement here. You want to reverse the basketball here for the Jays. Just staring inside too much. Get the foul call there, but when you don't reverse the basketball, the defense has an advantage because they just get to stand there and really focus in on what you're trying to do, which in that case was get the ball inside.
A quick substitution for the Big Green.
That foul was on Chelsea Ditto, her second as well. So both teams have two starters with two fouls.
Bryan with the ball inside. Not much she can do with it. She gets it up. No good. Gets her own rebound. Good hustle that time. And now we're going to have Seifker called for the foul. That'll send Bryan to the line, shooting 2.
And that's the second time on an out-of-bounds play that Bryan, taking the ball out of bounds, threw the ball in and then immediately posted. And that is a huge second foul on Abby Seifker.
Free throw good by Zephyrin Bryan. So Seifker will take a seat with 5:10 left here in the second quarter.
So this will be really interesting to see how Ottoville reacts. You know, the three people we talked about in the pregame, Ditto, Modica, and Seifker all have two fouls here with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Good running jumper that time. No good, however, by Carrie Bonning. Ball out of bounds to the Jays. Jays getting off to a good start here so far, Paul, here tonight.
Well, the weathered storm early, and quite frankly, you know, they've only given up 2 made shots to Ottoville. Out of the 8 points that they've scored, 4 of them come from the line.
It's been quite a 24-hour period for the Delphos St. John's basketball fan. The boys played last night and again today, and with the girls now playing here in this huge game. A lot of basketball if you're a St. John's fan.
Oh yeah, these Blue Jay fans, their vocal cords might be worn out, but a big three by Lauren Kramer.
That's what she was looking for earlier when she had those wide open looks.
They apparently just need to guard her. And a 5-second call for the Jays. Coach Grodhouse upset. He was trying to get a timeout, but not in time.
So the Big Green will inbound the ball here, and Coach Grodhouse actually calls for a timeout, 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. 4:26 left in the second period. The Jays still on top, 13-11. I think Coach Grodhouse made a wise decision there that time to take a timeout just to regain some composure there. With the Big Green getting that nice three-point shot and then getting the turnover, just wanted to make sure this didn't get any further out of hand.
Well, I'm not sure you could overemphasize how big of a three that was by Lauren Kramer. The Jays had some momentum going on. They got their big players on the bench there for Ottoville, and if they continue to struggle on offense, you know, the Jays could build up a big lead, and by the time you get in the second half, the Big Green would have to be playing catch-up the whole second half.
So Kaufman now inbounding the ball. She gets it into Kramer again. Kramer looked at the three for a second and then thought otherwise.
Again, some good pressure provided by the Jays, April's Grodhouse.
Lauren Cook now with the three-point shot, no good. Rebound comes down to the Big Green, however.
Second chance opportunities, got to get the rebound. Here comes the run and jump, here comes the trap. And they get the turnover.
Left up and good for Lauren Cook. The Big Green tie it up, 13 all.
Points off of turnovers, those are always huge.
Grodhouse now on the run. She loses a handle. Tipped out of bounds by the Big Green, so the Jays will keep it. Starting to get the feel, Paul, that for the first 8 to 10 minutes of this ball game, both teams are a little timid, taking a little shot here and there, and now we're starting to see some big punches thrown as they're trying to put some runs in, and get some momentum.
Yep, and a nice take there by Zephyr Bryant for the third time, posting up immediately out of an out-of-bounds play and getting that drop step.
Kramer with the three from the corner. It's good. 16-15. Big Green regained the lead.
And that's a second three, giving her a total of 6 points. And sometimes those pressures, that press, doesn't give you the turnover in the backcourt. Sometimes it's a scramble when they cross half court where they get the turnover. So 16-15 here with under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Shot is up and good by Kaufman, Tasha Kaufman.
And the Jays defender there went underneath the ball screen, was unable to recover back, and left for a wide open shot by Kaufman.
So if my math serves me correct here, the Big Green on a 10-2 run, and the Big Green will call a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it here again. 18-15 is our score.
I believe that was taken by Coach Grotehouse Blue Jays. So again, a big-time response there for the Ottoville Big Green. Be able to hit, a couple big threes there by Kramer, a steal and a layup. When the Jays seemed to have momentum there, especially when Siefker went to the bench with fouls.
And again, we'd like to thank some of our sponsors for tonight's game: Astro Lanes and Wapakoneta, Brown Insurance Agency, and Ricker Lawn Service. And for our viewers tonight or tomorrow, whenever they may be watching this broadcast, we do have a couple more broadcasts on tap for this next week. We will be airing the Pandora-Gilboa boys game at Columbus Grove on Monday evening. That will also be a tape-delayed broadcast as well. Brian with the penetration down the side of the lane for two. 18-17 our score now. Big Green on top by one.
And Brian has 9 points for the Jays. Half of their, well, actually more than half of their 17.
Three-point shot up and good. That time by Lauren Cook. So Cook gets in the action on the three-point shots.
So the Big Green got it going now.
And like what we talked about early on in the pregame with the points in the paint, keeping composure, that's what the Blue Jays need to make sure they do right now. As the Big Green starts to throw some punches, they need to stay composed and answer on their end when they get the opportunity. So Brian now will go to the line to try to do just that.
And definitely, you look for your senior leader to be able to do that for you, as Zephyrin does miss that first of the one-on-one.
So the lead is 4 for Ottoville.
And better spacing here now for Ottoville.
Another three-point shot up and good. No good this time. Rebound comes down to the Jays.
Jays going to run play number 2 here, whatever that is. Looks like they're going to offer a ball screen.
We'll have an offensive foul that time called on Grotehouse as Tasha Kaufman takes the charge for the Big Green.
That's Courtney Grothouse's first foul for the Jays. But nice charge taken there by Kaufman to step over and cut off the basket.
I think it's noteworthy to point out that the Big Green have been putting a little bit of a run on here lately without their leading scorer.
Oh, definitely.
Siefker's been on the bench for quite a while now, and the Big Green have been able to continue scoring and build on the lead. So now we're under 30 seconds here in the second quarter. Looks like Kaufman will reset it up top. They'll see if they can get one final shot here at the end. Kaufman almost loses the pass out of bounds, but she regains it. So Lauren Cook with the ball now, back to Kaufman. Let's see if they'll go for a three or if they'll take some type of penetration down the lane. Time's running out, shot needs to be put up. Cook throws it up. It is no good. No good with the shot there, but the Big Green do go to the break with the 21-17 advantage. So after the first two periods, the Lady Big Green are on top, 21-17. And we'll be back with our halftime show after the breaks. Stick around.
Our dad used to say, when you work hard for something, protect it.
That's why he got Nationwide Insurance more than 30 years ago.
We're still with them today because no matter what changes in our lives, whether it's starting a business or building a house,
Having kids or buying a car.
with an on-your-side review from Nationwide Insurance, we get the coverage we need at the right price for us.
The Fort Jennings Telephone Company has provided quality telephone service to Northwestern Ohio since 1908. We now offer many different services, including local and long-distance phone service, cable television, and high-speed internet. The Fort Jennings Telephone Company offers all of these services with the convenience of one monthly bill. Contact us at 419-286-2181 or visit us online at www.fjtelephone.com. At the Fort Jennings State Bank, we strive for excellence in serving our communities. With 24/7 ATM service, online banking, and 5 convenient locations, the Fort Jennings State Bank works hard to be your bank of choice. As an independent community bank, we have served our Putnam County community since 1918. With a full line of loan options, the Fort Jennings State Bank truly is the bank of choice. Building a home can be an overwhelming experience, and the relationship you establish with your home building company can be as important as the quality of the construction. That's why at Zwick Construction, we pride ourselves on our craftsmanship as well as the friendly manner in which it's conducted. Contact us for a free consultation and see the difference Zwick Construction can make in your home building experience. S&J Crane Services in Venedocia. With 30-ton and 80-ton cranes available, we can lift anything you need a crane for, especially modular homes. At S&J Crane Services, our cranes come insured, with licensed operators and oilers, making S&J Crane Services your first stop for all your heavy lifting needs. S&J Crane Services in Venedocia. Call 419-692-9394 for a quote today. That's 419-692-9394.
And once again, we thank you for joining us for tonight's debut broadcast on Game Face Ohio. We'd like to thank a few of our sponsors again for tonight's game. S&J Crane Services, the Fort Jennings State Bank, and TripSportsTravel.com. We are at the half here at the Heckman Gymnasium with the score 21-17 in favor of the Ottoville Big Green. Paul, the first half started out kind of slow, a little timid, I think, by everybody involved down there on the floor. And then I think in the second quarter there, probably about halfway through that, we started to see the pace pick up a little bit more aggressiveness on both ends.
Yeah, there's a lot more flow in that second quarter. You know, it's a lot of times you see that where there's a little bit of feeling out process between the two teams. Statistics here that we have, first of all, individuals. Let's go with team score turnovers, statistics first. Some things that you don't see on there, first of all, the big one is turnovers. The Blue Jays have 13 turnovers compared to only 6 for the Ottoville Big Green. That is a huge disparity in a big game like this. That's that many more possessions that the Big Green have. Also, what kind of stands out to me is the Big Green have actually attempted more three-pointers than two-pointers, and the Blue Jays haven't attempted any three-pointers whatsoever.
Absolutely, the turnovers are always critical in any game, and even more critical when you're in a game of this magnitude with two great teams. And I believe frequently you're going to find whoever wins the turnover battle in a game like this, whoever wins that battle is going to be victorious, you know, in the game. So our leading scorer for today, Paul?
Individually, Zephyr Bryan leads the Jays here with 9 points at halftime. Becca Sane has 4 for the Jays. For the Ottoville Big Green, led by that strong second quarter, Lauren Kramer leads the Big Green with 6, and Lauren Cook has 5.
All right, we'll be back after this short break for the second half. Big Green on top, 21-17.
Our dad used to say, when you work hard for something, protect it.
That's why he got Nationwide Insurance more than 30 years ago.
We're still with them today because no matter what changes in our lives, whether it's starting a business or building a house,
Having kids or buying a car.
with an on-your-side review from Nationwide Insurance, we get the coverage we need at the right price for us.
The Fort Jennings Telephone Company has provided quality telephone service to northwestern Ohio since 1908. We now offer many different services, including local and long-distance phone service, cable television, and high-speed internet. The Fort Jennings Telephone Company offers all of these services with the convenience of one monthly bill. Contact us at 419-286-2181 or visit us online at www.fjtelephone.com. At the Fort Jennings State Bank, we strive for excellence in serving our communities. With 24/7 ATM service, online banking, and 5 convenient locations, the Fort Jennings State Bank works hard to be your bank of choice. As an independent community bank, we have served our Putnam County community since 1918. With a full line of loan options, the Fort Jennings State Bank truly is the bank of choice.
And welcome back to Heckman Gymnasium, where the Ottoville Big Green lead 21-17. Here as we start the third quarter, the Jays have the ball in the alternating possession.
So we'd like to see what kind of adjustments that the Jays make here. First of all, they need to cut down those turnovers. 13.5 is just too many. Even though you're getting pressured a lot that the Big Green are doing, you need to execute here in that half court and take care of the ball in the full court and try to capitalize off those pressing situations.
Entry pass was stolen away that time by the Big Green, but Binding stepped on the end line as she collected it, so it'll stay with the Jays, and Bryan will inbound the ball.
That's a great effort play by Binding to run into position to try to take away that lob. Switching the screens up top, so Binding is making it tough for them to reverse the basketball. And Kaufman there with the nice steal there by getting her hands up.
Another turnover for the Jays. That's starting to be a theme here as we go. The Jays are going to need to cut out those turnovers if they're going to stay in this game.
Definitely.
Seifker tries to get the ball in there, tipped away by the Jays, and Sane will bring it all the way down and knocked out of bounds. Once again, another hustle play, that time by Carrie Binding to knock it out to prevent even the attempt on the layup.
And there's a great effort there. And on the other end, that was great effort in post defense by Bryan to be able to get that turnover. Again, you kind of notice the subtleties there defensively of scouting. You know, how Ottoville will switch certain screens but not switch other screens. That's all preparation there by Coach Clayman.
Gonna have a foul call this time on the Jays. Over the back is number 23, Lindsay Reindl.
And that is her third foul. She has not seen a lot of minutes here. We'll see if Coach Grothaus lets her play there with 3 fouls.
So Binding will bring the ball down the floor. Big Green still with the 4-point lead, 21-17.
So rolling the dice, leaving Lindsay Reindl in with 3 fouls here in the third quarter and matched up with the leading scorer on the Big Green in the post.
And the ball was tipped around a couple times, ultimately deflected off the leg, I believe, of Becca Sane while she was out of bounds. So the Big Green will keep the ball.
And the Jays are making it tough to get the ball to Seifker by making sure that they are fronting the post. And a 5-second call.
Turnover that time for the Big Green. So the Jays will now bring the ball down, try to cut into that deficit.
Man-to-man pressure here again from Ottoville.
Again, that's consistent. We've seen that all game, and I expect we will see that all the way to the very end of the game. Stolen away from Bryan that time by number 33, Tasha Kaufman.
And we've been calling her name a lot. And there again is another one of those secondary turnovers off the press.
Ditto with the ball now, looking to get it inside, but nothing doing, so she'll get it over to Kaufman. And one of the things that I talked with Coach Clayman about a couple days ago.
Oh, aggressive take.
Aggressive play there. Seifker will go to the line.
And that is the 4th foul on Lindsay Reindl.
That is a very big foul, very big play. Not only did Seifker sink the basket, but she made that the 4th foul on Reindl, and the Big Green get the rebound, so big possession here for the big green. Now, Rindle has to be careful here with 4 fouls. She has to know what her situation is.
Well, definitely, and the substitute's waiting to get in there, but she did not get there in time before the ball was handed. So she's still in the ball game for now. Oh, dangerous cross-court pass.
Ryan with the ball down low. The shot is somewhat blocked, but the foul will be called on number 43, Abby Siefker. So now Ryan will get a chance to go take a seat here after this first free throw.
But that's her 3rd foul as well. We'll see if Coach Clayman keeps her in with 3 fouls after seeing what happened to the opponent's post player.
And what I think we saw in the second quarter when she did go out with her 2nd foul, as now these substitutions will occur, the big green didn't really skip a beat. The other players, Abby's teammates, picked it up for her, had a good, strong second half of the second quarter. And that was what I was alluding to a little earlier as Brian sinks that free throw. But in my conversation with Coach Clayman, he feels very confident and he's very, very happy. He feels very blessed to have the squad that he has. A lot of the girls can contribute. They all have different things that they can do for the team. And when one girl's not having the greatest of nights, the rest of them can pick it up. And that's what I think we saw there in the second quarter with the big green.
Well, they had a chance to scuffle, and 11 points off the bench were big for the big green. But still, given the choice, I'm sure Coach Clayman would prefer to have her out there.
Roadhouse launches the 3. It's no good. And we're going to have a foul, I believe, on number 34. Yes, number 34 for St. John's, April Roadhouse.
That's her first foul, and also that was the first 3-point attempt for the Blue Jays.
So Kaufman now will inbounds the ball to Binding. We're at the 4:47 mark here in the third quarter. 23-18, big green on top.
So obviously not panic time here for the Blue Jays. Even though you're on the road against the number 1 team in the state, it's a 5-point game. They're leading scorers on the bench with fouls, even though your post player is on the bench with fouls as well. So you just got to continue to play your game. Zephyrin Bryan with an aggressive play. That was not a called defense where she went and go and trap. She just sensed that opportunity, saw the basketball out there for the taking, went and got it.
So the Blue Jays with the ball now.
And that foul was on Tasha Kaufman. That is her 2nd foul.
We have some confusion here by the officials as they're trying to get everything sorted out. And I believe we just had some debris on the floor. The official was trying to get somebody at the other end to pick it up for him, and I don't think anybody quite understood his sign language, so he ended up having to go down all the way on his own and get it.
Well, obviously, safety is a concern for the girls. For the players, we want to make sure that the playing surface is clear. Nice screen and rollback. That's a nice seal there by Courtney Grotehouse. That's a sign of a well-coached team. Here comes that run and jump trap.
Ball knocked out of bounds by the big green.
And that's exactly what they want you to do. They want to force you to the sidelines where you have your dribble so that they can trap you there on the sidelines where you don't have very much options with the basketball. If you're going to beat this with the dribble, you want to stay towards the middle of the court. Here comes that trap again.
Ryan now with the ball up top. She gets it over to April Grotehouse. Now Courtney Grotehouse passes all the way across. Shot is no good, but there is Bryan with the rebound, and her putback is no good. Rebound comes down to Kaufman. We're calling her name quite a bit tonight, Paul.
Yep. And that's a tough break for Bryan there. She really worked hard to get that offensive rebound, just missed the little gimme. And
Kaufman with the spin around jumper makes it 25-18.
And Kaufman's really starting to influence the game here. That's her 6th point, and she's been making plays on both ends.
Jays with a little bit of a fast break. The layup's no good. Knocked out of bounds by April Grotehouse of Delphos St. John's. So Big Green will get the ball.
Well, you've seen the last couple of possessions, the Jays with opportunities for power shots around the basket. You really got to make those.
Carrie Binding brings the ball down for Ottoville with the 7-point lead now. Stolen away by Bryan and the Jays. Jays on the break. Shot is up and it's no good. Rebound comes down to Chelsea Ditto of the Big Green.
Well, the Jays are in kind of a shaky territory here. They've had some opportunities to put a dent in this lead and don't have it. You know, you're kind of living on borrowed time here with the Big Green not putting more and extending this lead.
And we're seeing some good pressure by the Jays out front. We had a steal in the last possession. Now they just tied it up. But with the alternating possession, the Big Green will keep it this time. So they're still hustling. They're still working. Just need to make a few of those shots when they get the opportunity.
Yeah, their lack of offense is not affecting their effort defensively whatsoever.
Cook with the ball looking to do something with it, and we're going to have a blocking foul. Actually, an offensive foul called on Lauren Kramer. So that'll be a turnover for Kramer. Jays will take over.
And that is her first foul, the third team foul here for the Big Green.
And while we have a moment, we'd also like to thank some more of our sponsors for tonight's broadcast. Swick Construction and the Fort Jennings Telephone Company.
Getting too close to the sideline. Here comes that trap.
And we're going to have another tie-up. This time it stays with the Blue Jays.
And Courtney Grodhouse has got to do a better job staying away from that sideline and looking to get the ball more into the middle of the floor, either by the dribble or passing to the open person. When you're being trapped, someone is open.
Grodhouse gets the inbounds pass from Bryan. And the shot that time is no good by Tiffany Geisy. Big Green will bring it down.
Big Green being very deliberate here on offense now. You know, with the lead, no reason to force and take quick shots.
Kaufman thought about it on that last time. Decided she would pass it back over to Kramer and take their time, which makes all the sense in the world. We got the 7-point lead.
Ottoville's a very disciplined, well-coached team. They are not going to make decisions to hurt themselves. Now the Jays need to combat that with being more aggressive with on-the-ball play, like they were right there.
So Kaufman now with the ball up top. She'll reset it for the Big Green. Jay's still putting that good pressure on.
There's Bryan noticing that opportunity again there too. Sane gets a steal, but it was really Bryan that really made that play with her aggressive, instinctual play after that basketball.
So now we are going to have a violation.
10-second call. Not a turnover you see a whole lot at high school basketball level very much anymore.
Absolutely not. That doesn't happen very much. Cook with the ball. She thought about penetrating down the lane there that time. She'll bring it back up. They'll look for the good shot.
So a very low-scoring third quarter here so far. The Jays have managed only 1 point, and the Big Green only 4 points.
The home crowd starting to get a little upset about the pressure as it's turned over by the Big Green, and a layup no good that time by Becca Sane, and we'll have a traveling violation called on Kaufman. One of her few miscues so far tonight. So the Jays will keep the ball.
Well, if you would have told Coach Grodhouse that with 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter, you've only given up 4 points in the quarter, he wouldn't have guessed that Ottoville has actually extended their lead. The Jays have not made a basket yet this quarter.
Their only point of the quarter, obviously, on a free throw. Kramer with the steal for the Big Green. Now we're coming up on 20 seconds left. Let's see what the Big Green elect to do. Ditto tries to drive the lane, and she does a nice little spin move and draws the foul. She'll go shoot 2. So Chelsea Ditto will go to the line shooting 2, score 25-18.
Foul there is on Tiffany Geisy. That is her second and the 4th team foul on the Blue Jays.
Looking ahead to next week, we mentioned earlier we're doing the Pandora Gilboa at Grove game, boys game on Monday. We'll be doing a big game next Friday, doing the Elida Bulldogs at Defiance. That's a boys contest that looks to be one that will determine the WBL championship.
Oh, and I'm very excited about that game. You know, 2 excellent programs, Defiance and Elida, playing basically a championship game situation. That both of them have a 2-game lead as another J turnover. Have a 2-game lead in the WBL. The winner is guaranteed at least a share.
And that game next Friday evening will be shown live on GameFaceOhio.com. Not a tape delayed, it'll be live as we have the shot thrown up at the buzzer by Cook, and it's no good. So after 3 quarters, Ottoville Big Green still with the lead, 26-18. We'll be back after this short break.
Building a home can be an overwhelming experience, and the relationship you establish with your home building company can be as important as the quality of the construction. That's why at Zwick Construction, we pride ourselves on our craftsmanship as well as the friendly manner in which it's conducted. Contact us for a free consultation and see the difference Zwick Construction can make in your home building experience.
Back to Ottoville High School here for the debut broadcast on GameFace Ohio. The Ottoville Big Green, the state-ranked, #1 state-ranked Ottoville Big Green on top after 3 quarters, 26-18 over Delphos St. John's.
An important situation. Abby Siefker with 3 fouls has been inserted back into the game, and Lindsay Reindl for the Blue Jays with 4 fouls is back in the game, and they are matched up against each other.
Kramer with the wide open 3-point look again, and she drains it. 29-18 is your score.
That is her 3rd 3-pointer in this game, and in this low scoring of a game, an 11-point lead looks enormous.
Zephyrin Bryant now looking to do something with it. She'll spin in the lane, put it up. It's no good. Siefker with the rebound again. The home crowd starting to sense some momentum here as we're in the final quarter with the Big Green with the 11-point lead.
And just to recap, that 3rd quarter, Ottoville scored 5 points and the Jays scored 1 point.
And it's not that the Jays didn't have their opportunities. They had some really nice looks, some close shots, just weren't able to get it down.
They got to make the shots around the basket, and still Coach Grothaus cannot be happy with the number of turnovers that they had.
And there's a rare unforced turnover there by the Big Green as Lauren Cook.
Well, if you remember earlier in the game, they were getting those back doors. That time, they were reading the back door, but the passer and the cutter were not on the same page. Comes the trap. Zephyrin Bryan, the senior, though, will take it to the hole.
And that is the first basket, first field goal for the Blue Jays here in the second half.
Yes, and that gives Zephyrin 12 points. By the way, she's a 1,000-point scorer, and she's not the only 1,000-point scorer in her own family. Her dad, Tom Bryan, is a 1,000-point scorer in high school for Fort Recovery.
The Jays had gotten the steal, but then lost it right back to the Big Green. So Ottoville will reset it with the 9-point lead. Binding looking down to Siefker. She gets it in there. Nice spin move. Turnaround jumper, no good. Ditto with the shot. She's fouled. She'll go to the line, shooting 2.
foul is on 34, April Grodhouse, her second. That is the 5th team foul for the Jays.
So Ditto takes her first of 2 shots. Quite the crowd on hand tonight. We are here in almost a capacity crowd. We also have legendary coach Bob Arnson from Delphos St. John's. He is in the stands watching the Lady Jays tonight. There's Bob.
Obviously, he's seen a lot of these games. Obviously, I had the privilege of playing for Coach Arnson and just knowing him, and just the basketball knowledge and how good of a person he is just underrated. Sometimes we get wrapped up in basketball as basketball, but really these are kids playing these games, and Coach Arnson understood that and still does understand that better than anybody.
So Ottoville now with the 10-point lead, 30-20. Seifker posting up down low, and Ditto loses the ball to Bryan. She'll take it all the way down, loses it out of bounds. She'll keep it though. Once again, another good hustling play by the Big Green. How many times have we seen that tonight where the Jays had a fast break, looked like they were going to get a layup, but instead a hustling Big Green player snuck in from behind, knocked it out of bounds. We have a timeout here on the floor. We'll keep it here. 5:05 is left in the fourth quarter in the game, 30-20. Ottoville on top. We'd like to thank all our viewers for watching this broadcast here on Game Face Ohio. If you haven't been around the site to see all its features, a couple site features I'd love to point out to you. We are currently seeking some volunteers to be mobile correspondents on GameFaceOhio.com. It's a really great feature on the site where people can log on through us to put in updates, live updates of games in progress. So if you register with us to be a mobile correspondent, you could be at a ball game watching a game like this. You can log on your iPhone or your BlackBerry, put in the score, put in how much time's left in the game, and when you submit that, that goes out to all of the Game Face Ohio community. So people at home watching the game or just looking at the website can get those instant updates, or maybe fans at another game on another mobile phone will be able to get it on our mobile site, which is also another feature of Game Face Ohio.
Well, and as many people have those kind of internet phones, that's a welcome addition and just a real neat thing.
The Jays' three-point attempt, no good that time, so Big Green still has the 10-point advantage. Yeah, we really look for a lot of correspondents to get involved and get it to the point where we have basically people at every school that's contributing, helping everybody stay connected. As technology advances, we become more and more connected. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. As a sports fan, I think it's great that you'll be able to track scores as they happen, get instant updates when games are over. It just allows you to stay connected to all the other games. Shot no good that time by Binding, and it's going to be, I believe, tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Ottoville, so the Lady Jays will have the ball here with 4:17 left in the game, trailing by 10. Bryan with the ball. She looks to do something with it, trying to break the press by the Ottoville Big Green.
And Bryan has 12 of the 20 points for the Jays. One of the things we talked about before was trying to get other people to step up and score for the Jays. They have not gotten that this evening.
So Bryan will inbound the ball for the Jays. She gets some instructions from the official there on the sideline.
Got the lob to Lindsay.
And it's there. Rindle puts it down, 30-22.
And I tell you what, that was a nice steal by Lindsay Rindle, but you got to really give Zephyr Bryan credit for how great of a pass that was, because you didn't have a big window for that pass to be complete.
Kaufman with the shot from the baseline. She puts it in. Lead back to 10.
And Kaufman now has 8.
Well, Paul, something we haven't really touched on yet tonight is both of these two teams would be in the same district here in a couple weeks if they both keep winning down the tournament trail.
And that definitely could happen. They could meet in the district finals, however, it will not be an easy road for either one of them. Kalida is in with Delphos St. John's. As we know, Kalida was his number 2 ranked team coming into the week. Ottoville would have to play Delphos Jefferson potentially, or Crestview, who are no slouches themselves.
Another bucket that time by Reindl. Now, as a coach, looking at that as a possibility in a few weeks, does that change any of your coaching strategy, what you do in this game, or do you just play this game all out, give it everything you got, and worry about that game later?
Yeah, you play to win the game is what you need to be able to do. Now, you'll still learn from the game. You'll watch the film, see what works, what doesn't work, and then you might make some adjustments into the tournament game.
Bryan with the bucket and the foul. She'll go to the line for the 3-point play.
And the Jays not out of this. It's down to a 6-point game here with 2:44, and Zephyr Bryan has a chance to knock this down to a 5-point game.
Lauren Kramer back in for the Big Green as Samantha Modica will take a seat. So Bryan taking her free throw here. It's good, and we're going to have another substitution for Ottoville, as Lauren Cook will come into the game and Chelsea Ditto will take a seat.
So Bryan now with 15 points, leading all scores.
A little bit of a run here by the Jays. Now have the lead cut into the Big Green leads, now down to 5.
Well, it's manageable, but there's not a whole lot of time left here. You need to continue to be aggressive here on offense, or excuse me, on defense. And Ottoville will do the opposite. They will be very patient, take nothing but an absolute great shot or a layup.
As you can see, they bring it back out, reset it. As you said, taking their time.
In fact, Coach Clayman is basically telling them to take the ball out and run their spread. Jays are forced to foul.
And there is the foul called on number 12, Becca Sane.
And that is her 3rd foul, but only the 16th foul for the Jays, so they would have to foul one more time to send them in the bonus. And Coach Grodhouse will call timeout.
We have 2:10 remaining here in the ball game. 32-27 is the score. We'll take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back with some more action here.
S&J Crane Services in Venedocia. With 30-ton and 80-ton cranes available, we can lift anything you need a crane for, especially modular homes. At S&J Crane Services, our cranes come insured with licensed operators and oilers, making S&J Crane Services your first stop for all your heavy lifting needs. S&J Crane Services in Venedocia. Call 419-692-9394 for a quote today. That's 419-692-9394.
And welcome back to Ottoville High School and Heckman Gymnasium. The Big Green have a 5-point lead. Coach Grodhouse took the timeout there, Paul, with a little over 2 minutes to go in the game. What do you think he's telling his team right now?
Well, at this point, they have 16 fouls. They can afford to be aggressive. Yes, they would send Ottoville to the line, but there would only be one in the bonus. Plus, you might come up with an easy steal for a layup and make it to a one-possession game. So look for the Jays to be very aggressive defensively here.
Kramer with the ball, out top with Kaufman, and that reach-in foul is going to be called on April Grodhouse.
And that will be her 3rd foul, and that will send the Big Green to the line, shooting 1 in the bonus.
So Kaufman will go to the line shooting 1 and 1. Oh, they're going to send Kramer to the line.
And this is her first visit to the free throw line. She does have 9 points with 3 threes.
Shot is up and good.
And a big free throw. Lauren is only shooting 50% from the line coming into the game. And now she's in double figures with 10 points. And this would be big because this would make this a 3-possession game.
She sinks them both. As we go under the 2-minute mark here in the game here in the 4th quarter, the Big Green on top by 7. A steal by the Big Green by Binding. She'll take it down. She's fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line shooting 2. I believe they're going to call that on number 22, Zephyrin Bryan. Not positive on that. We'll wait and see the call.
And they called it on 34, April Grotehouse. That is her 4th.
So Binding here taking 2 shots, trying to build the lead back up for the Big Green. She nails the first one. So it appears the Blue Jays made a little run, and the Big Green are now answering that, which that's what you see from championship teams. When you play at a high level, teams will make a run at you from time to time. Having the ability to answer those runs really demonstrates, your high level of play and your ability to win ball games.
Well, making free throws is a great way to finish a ball game. If you don't make those free throws, all of a sudden the crowd gets into it.
3-point shot, good by Sane. So the lead is now only 6 for Ottoville with a minute and a half to go in the game, as the Blue Jay crowd is getting into it a little bit, and we'll have another foul on the Blue Jays. So that'll send number 15, Carrie Binding, to the line for Ottoville. And again, free throws are going to be huge down the stretch. Obviously, the Jays are going to keep fouling as they need to.
And that's 4 fouls on Sane, who just hit that 3 to give her 7 points. Carrie Binding at the line just hit 2.
She connects on the first one.
And kind of the point I was trying to make before, when you're trying to put the game away, obviously the more free throws you make, the more distance and more you pad your lead. But if you tend to miss some of them, it gives more momentum to the other team and for more energy, and there's more of a chance for them to make that comeback, not just with the missing out on the points.
And Binding makes them both, so the lead is back up to 8 as the Jays looking to get a quick score here. Sane has nowhere to go with it. She'll drive down the lane, throw up the shot, and we'll have a blocking foul called, I believe, on number 33, Kaufman.
And Coach Clayman not really sure about that. It was one of those that 50-50 calls, block charge, could have went one way or the other. This time, the Jays get the whistle.
Sane connects on her first attempt, cuts the deficit to 7. As we have a substitution now for the Jays. Courtney Grotehouse into the ball game. And coming out is Lindsay Reindl. And a couple more will follow here. Abby Siefker back into the game. Samantha Modica will take a seat.
And Abby Siefker, surprisingly, has had kind of a quiet game, only with 5, the leading scorer for Ottoville. Granted that she's been handcuffed with fouls a little bit.
And second shot is up and good. Now a substitution for Sane. Coming in is Tiffany Geisy. So both coaches now starting to get a little bit more aggressive on the substitutions.
Well, at this time, Coach Grotehouse took out his 2 players that have 4 fouls, so he can be very aggressive without losing a player.
And now I suspect, as the foul is called on St. John's, that those 2 players will probably come back into the game in anticipation of being back on offense here after the free throw.
And a lot of times you go offense, defense substitutions here, and just like you predicted, there they are. And still, Ottoville has made all of their free throws, but still it's only a 6-point game with 1:11 left. That's why it's imperative you continue to make these free throws, but now they're in the double bonus to where even if you miss this first one, you'll get the second one, but the Big Green's not even letting it come to that. Tasha Kaufman nails the first one.
So Abby Siefker will take a seat. Modica back into the game for the Big Green as Kaufman gets ready for her second shot. It is good, so the lead back to 8. Big Green making all their free throws down the stretch.
I said, and that will win you a lot of basketball games if you make your free throws. Also makes you a real smart coach when they make the free throws too.
Shot is good by Lindsay Reindl, and Coach Grotehouse quickly calls for a timeout. The Ottoville Big Green are on top 40-34 with just under a minute to play. We will take a quick break and be back with the final minute of play here at Ottoville High School. And we're back at Heckman Gymnasium at Ottoville High School. And if you wouldn't know it, you'd think you were at a gymnastics competition, Paul. Both student bodies are getting excited, and we're seeing students trade off on acrobatic moves and doing backflips and all kinds of gymnastic maneuvers. Just goes to show you how intense this game can be. Both student bodies are very excited to be here.
Well, the Olympics have started, but they're the Winter Olympics, so maybe they should be doing some ice skating instead.
Ottoville gets the ball inbounds. Quick foul by Delphos St. John's. Tiffany Geisy called for the personal.
So again, the game's been really elongated here by the fouling, but it's still within striking distance. Ottoville is doing their part, hitting all their free throws, and the Jays have been starting to capitalize here. Lindsay Reindl, hampered by fouls, playing any minutes, now has 8 points.
And now Ottoville will be shooting 2 the rest of the way. And Siefker misses the first one, so that's the first missed free throw we've seen in quite a while.
And Siefker is actually a 73% free throw shooter.
Her second one is good, so the lead is 7. She'll take a seat. Modica will come back into the game to play the defense.
So Siefker now has 6. We have 2 in double digits for the Big Green. We have Kramer with 10, or with 11, and Kaufman with 11. Kaufman with 11.
Three-point shot by the Jays is good. Shot buried that time by Christina Dessenberg. And a quick foul. The lead is only 4 for Ottoville.
And those were her first points, that three-point, and she's actually the second leading three-point shooter for the Blue Jays. So, like you said, 4:44 left and still a 4-point game. But still, Ottoville holds the hammer. They just need to continue to hit their free throws. And I believe we do have our a foul-out situation here. April Grotehouse with her 5th foul. And it looks like Courtney Grotehouse will take her place.
So
At the line is Carrie Binding, and she is 4 for 4 from the free throw line here in the 4th quarter.
Shot is good. The Big Green doing a great job with their free throw shooting down the stretch.
And this is big by Binding, who has not scored from the field this game. Everything has come from the line. Going for point number 6 here. And she rattles it home.
She nails it. The lead back up to 6. Ottoville still putting on that full court pressure.
Kind of have a sense of urgency for the Jays, and Zephyr Bryan doesn't get the layup to go. She loses big green ball.
She had the handle for a split second on the rebound, but then lost it out of bounds, so Ottoville will have the ball. The Jays running out of time here with just over 30 seconds left in the game and down by 6, and Ottoville has the ball. And the ball is stolen away by Reindl on the inbounds. Three-point shot is up and it's good again by Christina Dessenberg. The Jays wanted the timeout, weren't able to get it, but now they'll get the foul called to stop the clock.
But it is a 1-possession game with 20 seconds to go. You know, the Jays were down by double digits, only scoring 1 point in the quarter. Almost had them down and out, and still fighting back here. And this is still despite Ottoville hitting almost all of their free throws in this 4th quarter.
And now we're going to have another foul out. I believe the foul was called on Becca Saints. That'll be her 5th. So she'll need to come out. She'll need to come out of the game. She'll be replaced, I believe, by Tiffany Geisy.
And that hurts for the Jays because Becca Sain is one of those that can hit that deep ball. Their highest percentage three-point shooter has now fouled out.
She'll get the applause from the visiting crowd. And another substitution for Ottoville at the same time. Abby Siefker takes a seat. So Kramer stepping to the line, shooting 2 for Ottoville. These are 2 big free throws. She makes the first.
And she is now 3 for 3 from the line in the quarter and for the game. And she now has 12 points, leading the Big Green. Coming off the bench, coming up big, Lauren Kramer.
Second shot is good as well. 5-point lead for the Big Green. And we have another substitution quick with the made shot. So Kramer will take a seat. And Lauren Cook will come in, and Coach Clayman now is calling for the timeout. He can't get it. Nobody is seeing him. Finally, the official sees him, gives him the timeout.
Well, Coach Clayman decided to get a little gymnastic himself there with some jumping jacks to get the timeout.
We have just over 20 seconds, 20.8 seconds left here in the ball game. The Big Green have the 5-point lead.
Still possible here, and I don't know if the camera guys can get it, but the gymnastic off is coming back here. And both schools are actually kind of appreciative of the efforts of the other student body. But anyway, back to the game. There's 20 seconds left. It's a 2-possession game, and the Jays have 1 timeout left. Still time, but they need to get a quick score, whether it's a 2 or a 3, and then a quick foul or to get a steal. And they can also still use a timeout to stop the clock.
As we expected when this game was getting underway, we expected a good game. We have seen a good game. It's a 5-point lead coming down to the wire. That's what you would expect.
Definitely, and just the way it worked out, the first and third quarters, there wasn't much flow to it. There's a lot more turnovers. The second quarter was probably the most cleanest of the quarter so far. Fourth quarter has also been marked a lot of points, but also because of a lot of made free throws by Ottoville.
Now, Ottoville's backing off a little bit here on their pressure. Kind of a 3-quarter court press.
Although they got a foul to give, they could be a little bit more aggressive if they wanted to.
And stepping on the sideline is Tiffany Geisy. So the pressure from the Big Green causes the turnover.
And that's something that could not happen for the Jays.
Absolutely
now
not.
they give up possession of the basketball. You're still down 2 scores.
And I will say this, Paul, regardless of the outcome for the Jays, if it's not in their favor, their girls have played hard all the way here down the stretch, have not given up, still have not given up, as we've seen another quick foul, sending Ottoville to the line, shooting a couple more.
Well, you wouldn't expect any quit out of, a Dan Grothaus coach team. The Jays are going to fight you, and obviously, they feel that, they will learn from this game, they will move on, and possibly they'll meet in the tournament. As Carrie Binding finally misses a free throw after making 6 in a row.
So now the Big Green will get their spots there next to the key. 14 seconds left here in this contest. Ottoville up 5. Check that and make it 6 on the free throw by Binding. The Jays need a quick shot. Probably need it to be a 3-point shot. We'll see if they can get one off. Grothaus has a look. She throws it down to Bryan instead, and she's fouled. As the officials team up to see who the foul will be called on. It's called on number 15. That's Carrie Binding for the Big Green. So Bryan will go to the line shooting 2. Obviously 2 huge free throws. The Jays need these to contest here. And it is no good by Bryan. We'll have a couple more substitutions. Abby Seeker back into the game. Modica will take a seat. Lauren Cook takes a seat. And once again, Coach Clayman calls for a timeout, trying to regroup his team, talk to him about what he wants to do down the final stretch here with the ball. As you can surely expect some heavy pressure from the Jays. Miss or make here on this free throw.
The only thing that can really hurt you right now from Ottoville is a turnover. So they want to make sure that they secure the inbounds pass, hold the ball, make sure that, you try not to get tied up, although you got the possession arrow your way, so even that doesn't matter. So you just want to make sure you don't turn the ball over, get the foul, knock down the free throws, and then celebrate a big win and a big week for the Ottoville Big Green. This may be unprecedented, beating, the number 2 and the number 4 team in the state within a 48 hours time frame.
I tell you what, it probably doesn't happen very often, if ever, where you play a schedule like that. Play a number 2 on Thursday and number 4 on Saturday, and to get both victories, obviously very impressive, which shows a lot about this Ottoville Big Green squad. Shows that they are for real, that they do deserve all the accolades they are getting, all the publicity they are getting for their achievements this spring. Shot is no good by Bryan, and there's a foul called on Reindl. So I believe that'll be her 5th.
And that will be her 5th. And, honestly, a miss maybe there wasn't the worst thing that could have happened because you're down 6 points. The best case scenario is miss it, tip the ball out, get a 3-pointer. and then use that last timeout, or actually they have no more timeouts. Use a timeout, get that technical foul, because you got to stop the clock because the game's over otherwise.
So the official letting Coach Groothouse know that that was the 5th on Reindl. She'll take a seat. She is replaced by Shelby Reindl.
And Reindl goes to the bench with 8 points.
So a little confusion there. They actually called that foul on Tiffany Geisy, which I believe was in air. Not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on that, but she looked confused when they told her she was the one that fouled out. So she is sent to the bench. Lindsay Reindl gets to stay in the game. And Shelby Reindl comes in for Geisy. So Kramer makes that first free throw, pushes the lead up to 7, 47-40. And it's looking pretty grim here for the Blue Jays, as the home crowd, Ottoville Big Green, starting to celebrate a little bit, give some of their players some applause as the girls are taking their seat.
A classy maneuver there by Coach Clayman. Substituting at this point, get some applause for his seniors being honored here by the home crowd.
What a way to go out as a senior, playing your last game at home against another state-ranked team, get a big victory here, and close it out. Shot at the buzzer by Bryan is no good. And that'll do it. The Ottoville Big Green hold off the number 4 state-ranked Blue Jays. Final score 47-40. So the Ottoville Big Green validating their number 1 state ranking here tonight at Heckman Gymnasium with the 7-point victory over the Jays.
Well, really no doubt about it. Ottoville, as you said, really validated that state ranking, and this gives them tons of momentum heading into the tournament.
We'll take a quick break here with the final score 47-40, and we'll be back with our post-game show here in just a couple minutes. 47-40 is your final. Ottoville Big Green victorious.
Our dad used to say, when you work hard for something, protect it.
That's why he got Nationwide Insurance more than 30 years ago.
We're still with them today because no matter what changes in our lives, whether it's starting a business or building a house,
Having kids or buying a car.
with an on-your-side review from Nationwide Insurance, we get the coverage we need at the right price for us.
The Fort Jennings Telephone Company has provided quality telephone service to northwestern Ohio since 1908. We now offer many different services, including local and long-distance phone service, cable television, and high-speed internet. The Fort Jennings Telephone Company offers all of these services with the convenience of one monthly bill. Contact us at 419-286-2181 or visit us online at www.fjtelephone.com. At the Fort Jennings State Bank, we strive for excellence in serving our communities. With 24/7 ATM service, online banking, and 5 convenient locations, the Fort Jennings State Bank works hard to be your bank of choice. As an independent community bank, we have served our Putnam County communities since 1918. With a full line of loan options, the Fort Jennings State Bank truly is the bank of choice. Building a home can be an overwhelming experience, and the relationship you establish with your home building company can be as important as the quality of the construction. That's why at Zwick Construction, we pride ourselves on our craftsmanship as well as the friendly manner in which it's conducted. Contact us for a free consultation and see the difference Zwick Construction can make in your home building experience. S&J Crane Services in Venedocia. With 30-ton and 80-ton cranes available, we can lift anything you need a crane for, especially modular homes. At S&J Crane Services, our cranes come insured with licensed operators and oilers, making S&J Crane Services your first stop for all your heavy lifting needs. S&J Crane Services in Venedocia. Call 419-692-9394 for a quote today. That's 419-692-9394.
Welcome back to Ottoville High School and Heckman Gymnasium. We had a collision tonight, Paul, between two state-ranked teams. The Ottoville Big Green came out on top 47-40. What a game. It was kind of all what we thought it would be. A little bit going back and forth here and there. Tell us about the flow of the game there in the first half.
Well, first of all, just, playing in front of this big of a crowd, sometimes might unnerve it, and that might explain some of the high turnover totals for both teams. Like I thought, the first quarter and the third quarter is really tough to get a flow for either team. The second quarter, again, there's a lot of more flow to that, specifically by Ottoville. They were able to hit some big threes there, led by off the bench, Lauren Cook and Laura Kramer, hitting some big threes there in that second quarter. Then the fourth quarter, Ottoville was really able to extend that lead into double digits. Then the Jays had that furious comeback, but they couldn't get any closer because Ottoville ended up hitting 15 out of the last 18 free throws.
The Big Green did a great job making those free throws down the stretch. Again, that's a sign of a championship team, making the free throws, playing that solid defense. That's what you look for in a championship team. Now, in our pregame show, we talked about some points in the paint, the keys to the game, so to speak, that really would determine the outcome of the game. Paul, let's take a quick look, see how that turned out.
Well, keeping their composure, sometimes that's tough to measure. If you go by turnovers, the Jays probably did not hold their composure as much as that they would like. Role player step up, Zephyr Bryan did a tremendous job keeping the Blue Jays in the basketball game. Probably needed a little bit more scoring from some of the other players. They got that late, but they're going to probably need that a little bit more when they play the great teams like Ottoville is. Contesting, contain, again, tough to measure sometimes. There's several times they did not contest those three-point shooters, and they were able to hit. Ottoville rebounding. The rebounding total we have actually was in Ottoville's favor, so they've got to be happy about that.
The other thing we talked about in our pregame show with our players to watch, obviously Zephyr Bryan and Abby Siefker were our players to watch. Bryan seemed to uphold her end of the bargain, playing a fairly good game for her standards. Siefker really wasn't that involved offensively. She was their leading scorer going into the game. I believe only finished with 6 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but she was saddled by fouls, and also she was being guarded. We're going to remember she is a freshman. She's a very good freshman, but she's still a freshman. And she was being guarded by, some big, experienced Blue Jay girls with Lindsay Reindl and Zephyr Bryan.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I commented on earlier in the pregame show was that the Ottoville Big Green have a very good squad in the sense that they go pretty deep when it comes to scoring. So when Siefker wasn't able to provide the scoring tonight, others provided that, such as Kramer with her three-pointers and so forth.
And Tasha Kaufman, we especially need to give her a special mention. She scored 10, which is good, but she made a lot of hustle plays and things that don't show up in the stat column.
Well, we'll take a short timeout and be back with some final game stats, and then we'll wrap it up. So we'll be back right after this break.
Our dad used to say, when you work hard for something, protect it.
That's why he got Nationwide Insurance more than 30 years ago.
We're still with them today because no matter what changes in our lives, whether it's starting a business or building a house,
Having kids or buying a car.
with an on-your-side review from Nationwide Insurance, we get the coverage we need at the right price for us.
And we're back at Heckman Gymnasium here at Ottoville High School. The Big Green victorious this evening, winning 47-40 over the Delphos St. John's Blue Jays. Let's do a quick rundown of the scores tonight and some of the other key stats in the game, Paul.
Okay, some team statistics. Both teams did not really shoot the ball very well from the field. The Jays were 12 of 31 from two-point range and 3 for 5 from three-point range, which was excellent. Almost all 3 threes coming late in the ball game. They were 7 for 12 from the free throw line. Ottoville was 7 for 16 from two-point and 4 for 12 from three-point land, so a total of 11 for 28. Big advantage, free throws 21 for 31 from the free throw line. Again, that's distorted. It's not from the flow of the game, but the Jays fouled a lot there to make that disparity a little bit higher. Ottoville takes the rebound advantage, 17-12. And Ottoville did turn the ball over quite a bit, 14 times in the second half to make the turnover battle a little bit more even. The Jays turned it over 23 and Ottoville 20. Individually, for the Delphos St. John, Zephyrin Bryan led the way with 15 points. Becca Sane had 9 points. Lindsay Reindl with 8. Christina Dessenberg with 6. And Shelby Reindl with 2. For the Ottoville Big Green, Lauren Kramer led the way with 14 as they had 2 in double digits. And Tasha Kaufman's the other one with 10 points. Carrie Binding had 7, all from the free throw line. Lauren Cook had 5, all in that first half. Abby Siefker with 6 points. The leading scorer, Chelsea Ditto with 3, and Samantha Modica with 2.
Well, the Delphos St. John's Blue Jays fall to 17-2. Up next for them is Fort Recovery this week, and then it'll be on to the tournament trail. Well,
And the Jays still do have a chance to win the league. They would need to beat Fort Recovery, and they would need Coldwater to upset Marion Local, which is not out of the realm of possibility. Coldwater is about a 500 team in the MAC.
And up next for Ottoville, I believe they have Macomb this week, and then they'll be off to tournament time. Obviously, with tonight's victory, they are now 19-0. Coming up on Monday evening, as we discussed earlier, we will be broadcasting the Pandora Gilboa at Columbus Grove boys game. That'll be a tape-delayed broadcast. That'll be aired shortly after the completion of the game, and then we'll be following that broadcast up later in the week with the Elida at Defiance boys game. All right, I want to thank all the businesses that supported tonight's broadcast. We had quite a good list of people supporting us. They include Amy Holgrave Photography, Astro Lanes in Wapakoneta, Elegant Home Supply Incorporated, Brown Insurance Agency, Premier Event Concepts, Ricker Lawn Service, S&J Crane Services, Swick Construction, the Fort Jennings State Bank, the Fort Jennings Telephone Company, and TripSportsTravel.com. I also want to send a thank you out to Ottoville High School for all their hospitality tonight. Their principal, John Thurbin, and athletic director, Mark Winwell, were great. Really accommodated us very well here for tonight's broadcast.